on the computer, so we're good.
Okay.
All right, so I think we got everybody in.
All right, we're all here.
Do you want to switch over to the other camera yet, or no? I can help for a little bit.
You know, I can.
You're good.
I'm
You've
good.
got it.
Yep. All right, so I just wanted to say
She's better
hi.
off without me. I'm going to just say hi from a distance there.
There's Larry. Okay, bye, Larry.
Bye.
So welcome to an Artful Moment. And like Larry says, we have a new system, so I'm distracted by this large screen in front of me. But I wanted to tell you about Notan. A Notan is a Japanese term that literally means light-dark harmony. So the elements of art that we're going to work on today is line, shape, and then either symmetrical or asymmetrical, depending upon how you want to do your Notan. So this is a Notan, and this one is symmetrical, meaning that it's shadowing each other exactly. This one is asymmetrical, because if you see the cutout here, it's not going over this way, it's going this way. So you can do it either way that you want. My tree here is also asymmetrical. I did a tree Notan. And this one, because I wasn't paying attention, is kind of both. So this one's going the opposite way, but this one's going exactly, is symmetrical. So this is asymmetrical and this is symmetrical. So you can kind of play with however you want to do it. And then I did this fun one yesterday, and this one really kind of goes off the wall. And I always learn as I go, and what I realized is I shouldn't cut on the corner. But you know, that's how you learn, is by making those creative mistakes. So the idea is we're going to take, I always like to use the black paper for my middle ground, and I'm going to draw some design on it, and then we're going to cut the design out. Now, if you've never done this before, don't make your design too complicated, because you can't, you have to cut right along the line of your drawing in order for it to work. Excuse me, as its shadow side. So we've got light that we're dealing with, and we've got dark that we're dealing with. And so, and then it makes this beautiful little design. So negative space and positive space. So I'm going to now switch my video. See if I can figure this out. There we go. And I'm going to get my white piece of paper, set that down here. I'm going to get my black piece of paper, and I'm going to decide what design I want. So it could be just shapes, kind of like this one. This one, we got some shapes going on. It could be a, you know, something recognizable like a tree or the flower and butterfly. But because I don't, you know, many of you might not have done this before, I'm just going to do some shapes and keep it simple. And then you can practice at home. I have found that cutting paper is something that relaxes me. And so I really enjoy cutting projects. I have a ton of different things that I do with cutting. So just wanted to mention that. All right, so I'm just going to outline my design, and I'm going to do something similar to this, where I've got some circles and different things going on. So I'm going to start by just drawing the shape that I want, and I'm going to do it a couple times so I can have a couple things going on. And maybe to make it a little fun, I'll vary it a little bit and do a little wave over here. It can be very organic. You don't have to have it be all the same. And because I'm playing a little bit, I'm going to just do some different things. Maybe this one I'll do kind of up here and then down, kind of like a mountain. I have fun when I do the pictures, but those take a lot of time. But just for the fun of it, I'm going to throw in a picture too. I think I'll put a butterfly in here just so you can see how that might work. So I'm going to draw my butterfly. I'm going to draw half of the body, because then it's going to mirror the other half. And then I like to cut out circles are really hard, but I like to cut out some little shapes within it in the wings so that I have black on this side and then the white will be shown on that side. And, you know, just for the fun of it, I'm going to put, let's see, I'll put 2 butterflies. I'll put a little, or maybe I'll do a little beetle down here. I like doing bugs. So I'll do a little beetle. I'll do some circles in that, which are challenging to cut, but you know. All right, so here's my outline of what I'm going to do. All right. And then I've got 3 pairs of scissors I like to work with. I've got these little ones here. I've got a larger pair for different things. And then I have these very sharp ones. So I use that when I'm going to get into some, like the holes in the butterfly. So I'm just going to start cutting it out. Now you have to follow the line. Otherwise, you kind of mess up the whole idea. So I'm going to cut this out. Sometimes I get confused on what I'm doing, so I have to slow down and check it out. I'm usually not talking while I'm doing these either. I'm just going to do all my cutting now. And then I'll be able to lay it out. So it's going to take me a few minutes to cut. So if you're working with me, you can do some cutting. And I'm just going to kind of lay it out a little bit how it's going to go, just so my eye can see. So it's going to, you know, we've got the positive space and the negative space. All right. So now I'm going to cut out this wavy one over here. You know, we're drawing with lines and we're creating different shapes with this. Some recognizable, some not. And then we are creating designs. And sometimes I you know, so what, you know, what do you use a Notan for, right? Besides just a lesson in positive and negative space and design. You know, I like to make my own gift cards or greeting cards. And so sometimes I do a Notan on a greeting card to send to somebody. I like to do different designs. And so that is a way to utilize the Notan. Or you can just make them and frame them. There are some amazing ones if you go on the internet. There's a lot of really fun, different, very intricate designs. There was an art show at the Swedish Institute a number of years ago about an artist. I think she was a Norwegian artist who did cutting, and she did these huge sheets of paper that she did things like the tree of life, and they were, you know, I mean, floor to ceiling cuttings. She had tiny little scissors, and I just got very interested in the art of, you know, cutting paper. You sit around and have nothing to do. I like to just cut things. I make dragonflies and butterflies and abstract things just by cutting. And art is about playing, you know. It's just about trial and error and learning new things. I'm always trying new things and learning new things, and then I go and I try to bring that to other people as a teaching artist here. It's enhanced my own artwork. And there's, you know, if you make a mistake, it's okay. It's only paper. So you can just get another sheet of paper and try it again. Then I have to think about, am I going to do it symmetrically or asymmetrically? I think that it's just very important to just try things. And another thing is it doesn't have to be black and white paper. You could do two different color sheets of paper, you know, so you can make this your own. There's really no right or wrong. All right, now I'm going to go to my butterfly. I might do some more cutting after. I might see here what I like to do. Sometimes I just roll with it. And so you just slowly follow your line. And sometimes it gets tricky with little pieces or really detailed pieces. These flowers were very tricky when I got up into the petals. So I had to take those little scissors and I had to go really slowly. And I don't like to use the little scissors unless I have to because they are extremely sharp and I've cut myself a couple times with them. It's just about being slow and in the moment. Can't be doing this and 12 other things at once, so you'll cut your butterfly's tail off. There we go. And I'm going to get my little beetle. All right. One thing I forgot to mention is you can also think about, do you want your square in the middle of your, white paper or whatever color your background is, or do you want it, off to the side? I thought originally I wanted it in the middle, but then I had this long bird sticking out here, and that would have been off the paper, which would have been okay too, because this one did go off the paper. These guys here are hanging off the side, and that's all right. It's always good to go outside the box, right? So you get to decide, where you want your centered piece to be. If you want it in the middle, if you want it, off-centered, that's part of the design element. And, Notan's, it's about creating design and something of interest. All right, so now I'm going to move my butterfly and my guy up there. Put this over here, and I'm just going to do some laying out and decide where I want it to go. And if I want it symmetrical or asymmetrical. And so now it's like a puzzle. You get to play with the pieces and decide how you want them to lay out. Oops. This one might hang out the side a little bit, but because the butterfly is not too big, let me see my butterfly. Move it over a little bit. So that's why you don't ever start gluing until you have it laid out and decide how you want your design to be. Yeah, that works. Okay. It's still hanging off a little bit. And then, let me see my top. Then I have to find my beetle because it went flying. All right, so now I had these little details in my butterfly and my beetle. So now I'm going to take my sharp scissors. And the way I cut out in the middle of something that's, solid like that, I'm going to bend the wing a little bit. So I bend the wing, and then that way I can just carefully cut my little shape out. I did this with my flower and I lost one of the centers, so I had to cut a different one. It went flying across the room, so I gotta be careful of that. Sometimes the little pieces go flying. Okay. All right, so then that way I can see through the butterfly wings to give it a little design. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pieces that I cut out and I'm going to put them over here so that it's the same. All right, now I did do a couple little circles in my beetle, so let's see how that works, because that's going to be tricky. Yep. They're not going to be exactly circular, but that's okay. And I got my beetle in there. His head didn't quite be half, but that's okay. Now I got tiny little pieces are much harder to work with, so that's where it gets a little tricky. So there's one, and then the other one's right here. These are really tiny. Okay. All right. So now I have it laid out. There we go. And I'm going to go symmetrical. All right. All right. Hang on a second. Oh, somebody said it was kind of hard to do this outside. I'm not good about the whole chatting while I'm working, so sorry if I didn't get to you. But yes, it is probably hard to do this outside with the wind blowing. So, but you can watch it and then you can do it inside later. Okay, so now I'm going to glue. And I use this Scotch craft stick for a lot of my paper art. I also have some liquid glue that I use. It just works pretty well for me. I find that a lot of the like purple sticks don't always work very well. So I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to glue, and I'm going to glue onto my edges. Oops. And this stuff sticks pretty good, so I try to get my edges. And this also is a tricky part because my fingers are going to get sticky, but it might help me pick up some of my little pieces. I'm going to put this down. And this is why I lay it out, so then I know exactly where I want my centerpiece to go. Might have shifted a little bit. And then I glue that down. This is kind of one of those patient art things, you know, little steps, kind of move slowly. This goes this way. Yeah. All right, so then I'm just gonna glue down my pieces. And I try to line them up so that there's a straight line right here. I want there to be a straight line. Okay, and I'm going to get this one. This one's going to hang off a little bit, and that's okay. I'm all right with that. But you can always, you know, do, like I said, like we're doing now, kind of just shapes. Oops, but once you know, kind of get the knack of it, then try some, my glue dried too quick. So that line's going to be a little bit, you know, try some other things like some flowers or some, you know, maybe some bubble letters of your name. Make a little backwards fun out of that. Colored paper. And then I also saw, which I'm not going to do today, but I did see that people, they would do Notans and then they would doodle in the positive space or negative space, whichever space you wanted to doodle in, but you could doodle designs in there. Do some Zantangling within the Notan. Sticky fingers. Okay. Oops. Make sure I got the right, so I'm not gluing on the wrong side. I do a lot of double and triple checking. I didn't on that one, which is why it's both symmetrical and asymmetrical, but it's okay. Okay, I'm going to add another one. So see how I'm trying to create that line right there with the pieces lining up really well. Okay. All right, now I just got my butterfly and my beetle to do. I like nature, so I put a lot of nature in these things. That. Sometimes sticky fingers comes in handy when you got little pieces of paper to pick up. Then you can pick it up a little easier with your sticky finger. I think I lost my other dot for my beetle. So it's going to be a little mismatched on the beetle because my dot went somewhere else. So that's pretty much how you do a Notan. So you just work with the negative and positive space, the light and darkness. You know, you draw some lines or some shapes, and then you cut it out and decide if you want it to be symmetrical, or which means, you know, exactly mirroring, or asymmetrical, which is a bit more, you know, it's kind of fun too because the shapes go different ways. It gives it an interesting appear. So what I would like to do is I'm going to put this on gallery view, and maybe if anybody's working along with me, you can show me what you got going. Anybody want to show me what you've been doing? Hi, Jinu. What you got going? Oh, that's great. I love it. Way to go. Nice job. Here, let me get myself back up here so you're not. I like that a lot. That looks great. Good job. I like your clouds and a butterfly hanging off a bit. Beautiful. Good job. Anybody else want to share what you've been doing? If you've been, you know, you might not be done yet, but all right. See somebody from the Myers. What do you got? Awesome. I love your butterfly. That's great. Your sister's still working, I see, huh? Okay. I'll give you a few minutes to work and then maybe you can share a little bit more. Oh, there we go. Oh, I like that. You went with the triangle. I like the little ones on the, hold it up a little bit. I can only see the top. Do you got more? Oh, awesome. I like that. Very cool design. Very cool. Good job. You guys are doing great. Anybody else want to share? We got a couple more minutes. Like I said, these artful moments are more kind of like a quick demonstration so you can, you know, go do something creative and all of that. And, you know, I appreciate you joining us. I haven't decided if I'm going to continue with the artful moments, but I might. We just have to see what's going on with the fall. You know, as you all know, everything's up in the air, right? But okay, if nobody else wants to show me where you're at, I'm probably gonna close us out. And I thank you so much for coming and hanging on in the beginning when we were trying to figure out what was going on with our classes here. So I appreciate you making a Notan with me. All right, nice job. All right, we'll see you later. You're welcome. To Hannah, thank you. And Michaela, thank you. Everybody have a good day.